job, brother. So I'm asking a question. Everybody been doing videos on the regular. Raise your hand. Okay, maybe I'm not gonna be a nigga. Everybody doing, how often you can raise your hand, I call on you, how often do you do videos?
I do videos every day. Sometimes, like, I missed 2 days, so what I did was...
You don't gotta say nothing, you said every day. That's all I want to know. Every day? Every day? Come on, brother. I already know.
Some guys stand up.
You don't gotta say nothing. So you don't gotta put
No, bro. Come on, man. Your credit is good here.
So everybody doing videos on a regular, right? Is everybody doing videos every day or no? Raise your hand if you do videos every day.
It's today.
What I mean by that is consistency. If you do videos 5 days out of the week, how many of y'all do videos 5 days out of the week? Your hands are more. How about 4? Huh?
I'll put up maybe like 2 or 3 videos in 1 day, and I might come back a couple days later.
I'm talking about consistency, man. Being consistent. If you do a video on a Monday, and your video should not be no 5-minute video, you hit one script and that's it. Sometimes it can be that way. But if it's spiritual, there's certain times where I did a video for an hour, or sometimes 2 hours, and I thought, oh, forgive me, I went, but the spur was on me. So you gotta be consistent. You gotta be consistent, brother. Go ahead, Oscar. I mean, you can't put a time on it because it's a spirit.
Spiritual. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put a little short in that. The other day I learned how to put a short up because I was at a Whole Foods, right? And I went there like 3 weeks before that to get something, and I cashed out, and then I went, was that a Friday night or Thursday night or whatever, and I noticed there was I said, what the fuck is that? There was a hand scan. So I said, I'm going to take a video of that shit, right? So I had to go to the video to learn how to, I didn't know how to upload a video from my phone to YouTube because I was trying to put it in the computer, then upload it. So I put it in, blah, 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 how to upload. It was a white boy. Always a white boy. When you learn something, it's always a white boy or either white woman. He said, oh, you do this, that, I did this and went right up. I said, oh, I'm good. But the thing was, 3 weeks ago I was there, 3.5 weeks ago, that shit wasn't there. So they showing how fast they move. Things are going to be moving, man. 1 week you go to a particular store, a month later you go and you can find out, well, wait a minute, this is new. They're pushing this shit fast. They're pushing this shit fast, man.
On my job, you gotta check in with your...
Hey, I'm going to say this, brother. I'm no longer a nigga. You guys been doing your videos. I thought I was going to have to be a nigga, but I'm not a nigga. I'm a good guy. Right? Be more consistent, huh? Be more consistent. Matter of fact, somebody give me what is it, St. John 9, and you can start at the first verse. Start the first verse. And all you brothers, hear this thing though, you gotta, what's the saying? Toe the line. That's the saying, toe the line. Like if you're doing what do you call that? A tug of war.
Tug of war.
And you lose, you gotta see which motherfucker is slacking. Yeah. And you get rid of that guy. Because when you're doing a tug of war, if there's 10 men on this side, 10 on that side, and this side's always winning, you gotta find out what the weak link is. And you gotta get that weak link out of there and you gotta put a strong link in there, man. So that's also towing the line. So I'm doing, tell me I'm not, tell me you're talking I'm not diligent. Tell me Tahar, you ain't diligent, man. And I'll pray to get more diligent.
Yeah.
So none of y'all are saying I'm not diligent, right? None of y'all are saying I'm not diligent. So how many of y'all are diligent? Are all of y'all diligent for this word? Are all of y'all diligent? Stay diligent and become more diligent. Become more diligent. All right? So that's why I said read that scripture.
I got it.
St. John chapter 9, verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Yahushua answered, neither had this man sinned nor his parents, but that the work of Yahweh should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is interpreted, sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. The neighbors, therefore, and they which before had seen him, that he was blind, said, is not this he that sat and begged? Some said, this is he. Others said, he is like him. But he said, I am he. Therefore said they unto him, how were thine eyes opened? He answered and said, a man that is called Yahushua made clay, and anointed mine eyes, and said unto me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight. Then said they unto him, where is he? He said, I know not. They brought to him the Pharisees, him that aforetime was blind, and it was Sabbath day when Yahushua made the clay and opened his eyes. Then again the Pharisees also asked him, how had he received his sight? He said unto them, he put clay upon mine eyes and washed, and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, this man is not of God, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day.
You niggas!
Yeah, niggas, yeah.
You niggas! They didn't look at the miracle. This guy got a miracle. So, well, wait a minute, niggas ain't on the Sabbath. Keep reading not.
Therefore said some of the Pharisees, this man is not of God, because he keep not the Sabbath day. Others said, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. They say unto the blind man again, what sayest thou of him that he opened thine eyes? He said, he is a prophet. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind, and received his sight, until they called the parents of him that had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, is this your son, who ye say was born blind? How then doth he now see? His parents answered them and said, we know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But by what means he now seeth, we know not. Or who hath opened his eyes, we know not. His age, ask him, he shall speak for himself. These words spake his parents, because they feared the Jews. For the Jews had agreed already that if any man did confess that he was Yahushua the Anointed, he should be put out of the synagogue. Therefore said his parents, he is of age, ask him. Then again called the man that was blind, and said unto him, give God praise. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. One thing I know, that whereas I was born blind, now I see. Then said they to him again, what did he do to thee? How opened he thine eyes? He answered them, I have already told you, or I told you already, and ye did not hear. Wherefore would ye hear it again? Will ye also be his disciples? Then they relieved him. Then they reviled him and said, thou art his disciple. But we are Moses' disciples.
That's Isaiah 6 and 9. Hear ye indeed, but hear perceive not. See ye indeed, and see not. I told y'all niggas already. Y'all still don't believe.
We know that the Most High spake unto Moses, as for his fellow, we know not from whence he is. The man answered and said unto them, why herein is a marvelous thing, that ye know not from whence he is, and yet he opened mine eyes. Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of the Heavenly Father, and doeth his will, him he will hear. Since the world began, was it not heard that any man opened the eyes of one that was born blind? If this man were not of God, he could do nothing. They answered and said unto him, thou wast altogether born in sin, and dost not thou teach us? And they cast him out. Yahushua heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said unto him, Dost thou believe on the Son of the Most High Yahweh? He answered and said, Who is he, Lord, that I might believe on him? And Yahushua said unto him, Thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Lord, I believe, and worshipped him. And Yahushua said, For judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and they which see might be blind. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and said unto him, Are we blind also? Yahushua said unto them, If ye were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, We see, therefore your sin remaineth.
It's powerful.
The key point right there is the work. So the Lord healed people, right? So are we healing people?
Yes.
Are we healing the blind, making the blind?
Yes.
Making them see the truth, right?
Yes.
So what is the work? Because the night cometh when no man can work. What does it mean when he says the daytime? The daytime I must work. The nighttime cometh where no man can work. What's that talking about?
Daytime is people be so bullshit.
Right now. So what is the nighttime?
That's the end of the day. Jacob's trouble.
Whose nighttime is it?
Jacob's nighttime. Esau nighttime.
It's Esau. It's Jacob. Well, I say this. Jacob's trouble is also Esau's trouble. But when Jacob's trouble comes, Esau is right behind him. Esau's trouble right behind him. So the day coming is right now. In other words, we're doing the work. We're healing the blind. You know, we're opening their eyes. So you got to work your ass off, man. The most I gave you a job, you got to work. You're an eye opener. You're a doctor. You know, you heal the blind. What do you do? I heal blind. I specialize in healing the blind, man. So you got to constantly do this, man. If you're not doing it, then guess what? You're not one of the elect. I keep telling you all that. You're not one of the elect, man. The scriptures say this, Amos, stuck thinking about 3 or 4 different scriptures. But, Amos 3. It said the Most High spake, who can but prophesy? Is the Most High speaking now?
Yes.
So when it said, when the Most High speak, who can but prophesy? What does that mean? Who can but prophesy? Who is the who? The prophets. Are you guys prophets? Yeah, you're prophets. Because you're saying things are going to happen in the future, right? When the Most High speaks, who can but prophesy? Meaning, there's got to be a vessel. So if you say, well, the Spirit ain't on me, I ain't do a video because the Spirit ain't on me in 2 weeks, what does that mean? Huh? You're not a vessel, and you're not a prophet, and you're not of the elect. You're not of the elect. Even Nate, did you hear Nate's thing when he was out there in South Africa speaking to some bishop? You gotta watch it. This nigga's getting worse and worse by the day, by the minute. Tell him the things that he said.
Yeah,
if you remember.
Yeah, basically he said the world is going to be destroyed.
Pretty much he said the people of Iran is going to shoot missiles on Israel.
Yep.
He said that's in the scripture. I wonder what scriptures he's talking about.
Rome is going to be destroyed.
He said Rome is going to be wiped off the face of the earth.
What scripture is that?
Talking about ancient. I said, where the fuck did he get that from? He did say America's going to be destroyed. He said Johannesburg, South Africa is going to be hit. Where's that in the scripture? This nigga's going, he's bugging, man.
Well,
He's bugging out.
hey, remember what the apostles...
Okay, you got a preset. I'm going to call on you, then I'm going to call on you.
The same thing that you were saying, but the NLT version.
Go ahead.
This is Amos 3 and 8. The Lord. So who isn't frightened? The sovereign Lord has spoken. So who can refuse to proclaim his message?
And the one that we can't refuse. spirit, most of the time the spirit jump on me, I get up 5 o'clock, and I'll take, the first thing I'll do is I'll do my mouth, and I'll get the seed. I get the seed, I take 2 of the bad boys, and then I'll walk around, and then I'll shadow box, you know. I might start doing push-ups. I'm bugged like that. I might say, let me put my clothes on, go for a walk or a run. I'll do it fucking 5, 6 in the morning. I don't give a shit. But sometimes I'll sit down in front of the computer and see what's going on. Normally the spirit hit me. Somebody I said, oh, I got to do a video on that. That's just how it hits. When I come to the crib, right? I got a computer in my bedroom right next to me. I got a computer in the living room. As soon as I come in, for y'all that came to my crib, I got a computer right there with the desk. As soon as I come in the fucking crib, right? I hit the light on, and then I hit the computer. Now I do what I got to do. Go to the bathroom, then I hit the computer just to see what's going on. Check my notifications. You might say something, this brother might have a video, this brother might have a video. Then I say, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a video on that, do that based on that. So you cannot tell me that the spirit ain't on you. Because prophecies are popping off like popcorn, man. You know? Go ahead, brothers.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 13. We have the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believe, and therefore I spoken. We also believe and therefore speak.
Plain and simple. That goes hand in hand with Amos. Come on. You next.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5. It says, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as the others, but let us watch and be sober. Yeah, so we the children of the light, which is Yahweh Shai, and of the day, okay, which represents the time now where we're supposed to be pushing this word. Okay, we're not of the night or darkness, man. The night represent the going down of Esau's kingdom. Okay, and the day that's going to come is the kingdom of heaven when Yahweh Shai comes back to rule the earth. Okay, but we're not the night represented in the Esau society. Okay, but we're not drunken in the night, because when all hell breaks loose, you know, a lot of scriptures speak about that gross darkness. A lot of people are going to be in a state of confusion when that time comes. Okay, but we're sober-minded, meaning we're not spiritually drunk, you know, because we have the truth. So it says, verse 7, for they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and the helmet, the hope of salvation. That's right, which is his word.
Now I almost forgot. Brother Polite.
R.I.P. Somebody got a trumpet, we can blow taps for that nigga.
And you know where he's at? He's in PC. You know what PC means, right? That's Punk City.
Punk City,
That's old school, man.
He's in PC.
Huh?
He's in PC.
He's a protective customer, man. That dude ain't Gen Pop.
Yeah, he's a
general population. Especially because they get distracted. They get the rap sheet. What the fuck you did?
Yeah.
You heard the chick's mother?
Yeah.
Man, when that shit pissed me off, man. And I was up early in the morning because I knew his trial date was coming up. That nigga took a long time coming up the escalator. Come up, the judge kept saying, where's this guy? Michael North. Where's Michael North? He came up, yes, we're all up here. And he had to plead guilty. And then they threw out, they said, look, if you go to trial, the blow trial, said it's 31 years for this charge, count 31 for next. He had about 7 counts on him, and all of them was 31, meaning you're going to do straight 31, not 31 back to back. Right. Which is concurrent, right? So they said if you blow trial, 31 years, right? But you say you want to plead, it's 7 years in prison, 10 years probation. He said if you violate the probation, 10 years, anything, you got to do 61 years. Damn. So that motivated him to say, man, let me take that step. So now when you say you're taking a plea and it's jail time, that means you're guilty, man, because you know they're going to get your ass. You got DNA on it. They showed us we got DNA on it. Now the woman's mother, she said, how can you do this? She said, you made her drunk. He must have poured liquor down the throat. And she's a 14-year-old, young woman. But on top of that, he drugged her. And then she made a statement. She said, you put so much drugs in her, I don't know if it was possible that she still lived. So he drunk that, he got it drunk, and then he drugged her. And he said, well, baby, I'm going downstairs. I'll be right back. I'm straight downstairs. So she believed it, And he just disappeared. So she was like calling him, not calling the daughter, not. She said that he had her for 2 hours. So you want to talk about having your way with somebody? He was having his way. She was all busted and bruised up, her mouth was all fucked up. That means, one of the charges was assault. What do you think he was assaulting with? His penis.
Right.
He was putting this thing in that nigga's a freak, man. Yeah. I wouldn't even think of doing nothing like that, let alone doing that shit. And rape is one thing, but that's attempted murder, brother. That's a brutal rape / attempted murder. That's a wicked ass nigga. And all them motherfuckers, man. Yep. All them motherfuckers, different conscious niggas, they would just hang that nigga. My man Q Butter, he was on the show with Nepal and so I met him. So he came out, he said, look, this is a message for you motherfuckers in the Florida prison system. He said, I'm gonna take care of your commissary. He said, all you gotta do is wash that nigga. So I met him, my pa said, you mean washing the socks, right? They wanted to clean it up. We all know what it meant. Yeah. But he said it all bold. He said, all you gotta do, he said, you're gonna have commissary for you. You're gonna be good on the commissary. All you gotta do is wash. Any of you niggas that wash that nigga, we gonna send you some money. So that's another reason.
Contract. So in other words, they put the hit out of him. In other words, he got a hit out of him.
Let me say this. What if they said, oh, the nigga did this, and I put the video up. He did a video maybe a day or two or maybe a week saying, oh, they dropped all the charges. Which shows you what? Well, it shows you that he has no remorse for that one. He's proud. He was like, I didn't do shit until he went before the fucking judge, man. Speak loud, huh? Yeah, say that now. Say it now.
Video, the testimony, who brought the charge upon him. He said, it's still the devil, he's selfish. He said, don't tell anybody, drop the charges, you can rule about the religion. He's still thinking about something. And of course, random shiny ass phone.
Because he was going to offer her money. She said, well, you think I'm selling my daughter for some money? So he offered her a substantial amount of money,
And the mom was like, he could get any woman he wants, but he chose to do that.
He got all the wives.
Yeah, got all the
Yeah, 4 pictures.
He got all of them wives.
Yep.
Why he ain't getting involved with none of his wives?
That's the crazy part.
He's a damn nigga. And all of them House of Conscious people that was on his side talking shit about us, saying we was doing that shit. That nigga was doing that shit. And all y'all motherfuckers out there is backing that dude up. And the Most High gonna get all of y'all, man.
Oh, every last one.
And the very thing he accused us of, he did.
The very same day that he went for the sentencing, he threw out a video. He released a video saying, that he's innocent and he's celebrating. And it turned out that he was like, oh, she's trying to milk me. I told her she got titties for that. Why are you trying to milk me? I'm like,
right. So all that comes back. Hey, you know what? Let me say this. What if they drop the charges and let them out? What do you think is going to happen? The streets going to get us. Yeah. Who won't be the first in line? Quack on lights.
Somebody going, what?
I'm getting on the fucking weird nigga in LA. Get me on the plane. I'm gonna watch that nigga right now. He gonna get washed. Either way, he's done. He's finished. He's mine.
I think he's going to be a prison bitch.
He might as well hang himself, man. He's done.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Like I said in the video, I said that's the worst Negro on the planet Earth. Can you imagine that? You the worst Negro on the planet. Like somebody, this nigga right here is the worst nigga on the planet Earth. He's the worst nigga on the planet Earth. All right? Oh yeah, well they didn't know. They didn't know. You can see they didn't know. They didn't know. So
Sarnetta catching the heat now because Sarnetta always knew when he got mad at him, he called him Baby Bambada. See, he was privy to the information.
Baby Dr. York.
Little Dr. Slack, Baby Dr.
York.
Little Dr. York.
Go ahead, bring it on out.
Proverbs 13, verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. You know, he shot up the Bible. So
Yeah, he did. Shot up the
that's what the Most High done.
He shot the Bible when the Most High was a quicker draw than he was. Shot him down.
He was like, oh, now the Bible is truly holy. I mean, this was a demon, man.
Right, bro. And
The
then,
joy of the hypocrite.
and then when he got our money, remember, he prayed, he had all the money on the bed, he prayed to the money. Yeah. And it was like a demon, like it was on him, like real demonic.
Psalm 7 and 15. He made a pit and digged it and it's fallen into the ditch which he made.
Bring that up.
Proverbs 19 and 5. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape.
I got a precept. This dude did that. He came against the prophets 7 years, and then 7 years later, he got convicted of rape. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter on the Sabbath, chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set them to do evil. And that was the evil act he did, man. Coming up against the prophets, you know, against our apostles and elders, calling us rapists and all that, and nobody raped anybody. He turned out to be the rapist.
Because of him,
Take that
that
out, man.
slander went about because of him.
Yep, okay. Proverbs chapter is similar to what you brought out. Proverbs 26, verse 27. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
That's
There
right.
you go.
That's right.
This is Matthew 18 and 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
Yeah, supposedly you got the Crips and Bloods. Remember when it was like,
Now the Crips and Bloods, they want to get him now.
yeah.
You know?
Remember that?
And this is going to make us look righteous.
Yeah.
Oh, even this guy, what's this guy, Captain Tazariak, they were talking about the trial maybe a month ago, and Captain Tazariak, he was talking to Sarnetta, and he said, go ahead, son. Go ahead, my man. He was talking to Sarnetta on the phone, and he said the reason why he did that, and Captain Tazariak didn't realize what he was saying, because he came against the men of GMS. And he said the Lord got him for that. So guess what? Captain Tazariak gave us a little props.
You said that?
Yep.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and passed themselves through with many sorrows.
Yeah, well, he got sorrows now.
Yeah, Big Rex is waiting for him. Big Rex is going to take care of them
Big
sorrows.
Rex is going to get us.
Felice Johnson gonna get him.
Felice Johnson,
Yeah, him too.
Yeah, he's going to come back. You know that nigga's related to the Mayweathers. Felice Johnson. He's a Mayweather.
Wow.
He's fucking Mayweather. Mayweathers are crazy, man. I think they're Reubenites. Come on now.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
So the spirit wanted to be brought out, but bring it out again.
Bring it out, bro.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
This is Job chapter 20, verse 5. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, but the joy of a hypocrite is but for a moment.
Yeah, he said start at 4, yeah.
God, this is Job chapter 20, verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, but the joy of a hypocrite for a moment? And then it says, though his excellency mounts up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. You know? So that's talking about basically he's a hypocrite. You know, he's a hypocrite, and his triumphing, shooting up the Bible, all those things, you know, he did that in a very proud way. He's thinking that his money's gonna save him, and now look at it.
Oh yeah,
you know?
going to Whole Foods and spending all that money. How many of y'all saw that video?
Having all those wives?
With the brides of Frankenstein? Somebody, huh? Yeah, man, he was gloating in that shit.
Buying red bananas and all that.
Yeah. A lot of good that's going to help him in the jailhouse.
You know what that represents? Polite going down, because Polite is esteemed as being the top debater, but he lost to an Israelite, Captain Solomon. But he's the top debater. So guess what? That's the downfall of the whole black country.
Oh yeah,
man.
one fell swoop.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. And you
Because he said he wanted to be the first conscious billionaire.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe Anubis can get him out of the joint, man. Hey, y'all should read Judges 10 and 15. Go and cry unto the gods. That's a powerful scripture. Somebody should read it, man.
I was to say that he was saying the black woman is God, but now that very same God that you was calling a God condemned you and put you and got you in that situation.
What's that tell you about the Heavenly Father? He's like a master chess player. This is not checkers, man. This is fucking chess, baby. You know?
when he came down and listened to us when he met us.
Oh yeah.
He saw the spirit in us, man.
He saw it.
Because he remembered my name. Years later, he went down to Florida, GMS.
Yeah.
You know this guy's hard.
Yeah.
So that name was ringing in his head, man.
Yeah. When we were teaching them, I'll never forget it. There was a truck that came up, and the truck was blowing its horn like it seemed like forever. And I looked at Polite. I said, "You know why that's happening?" He said, "Yeah, I know." He had that look in his eyes like he knew he was being fed the truth. But then he turned that shit around on us.
When he said, "You guys almost got me."
Yeah, he did say that.
Except for the fish thing.
The fish, yeah.
You guys almost had me. You know?
Yeah.
And then you know what? We were brotherly, man. When them guys came down, we were sincere.
Yep.
We showed love.
Absolutely.
We say GMS don't show no love. We show nothing but love to both of them, man.
Yeah.
That's why we don't deal with them niggas no more. Because they're fucking shysters, man.
Exactly.
Awesome. So when Polite had said, you almost made me a believer with that big fish thing, but I couldn't believe, like a couple months later, like a year later, they showed in the news that a big fish swallowed a man. It's a
You're right.
Polite back.
And he said,
the Lord been getting at him.
he said that fish. He said the fish could not swallow anything bigger than a grapefruit or an orange. Yeah.
And then the Lord mocked him and showed that. And you have seen a video of a man being swallowed by a big fish.
That's true. That's true.
And survived. We talk about it.
There's a couple of stories. You know us, we always got to answer questions.
Oh, yeah.
When I got home that night, I looked up man swallowed by whale, man. There was a bunch of stories, man. 1896 and 1970, whatever. So it's not just one story. What the fuck you mean? You can't swallow art. I can swallow fucking art.
Yeah, right.
I got the scripture, Apostle. I'm stopping at 13. Judges 10:13. Ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
Yeah. So where's Geb?
The black people should break them out. They should come in, with the black suit.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Lee and
Yeah.
kill the motherfuckers.
They're like,
cut.
Yeah.
See, one thing about us, brother, we have fun with this.
Oh, like the S1W.
Look, I love the testimony, right? I love doing the work of the Most High. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Even if the Most High said you got 2 months of 2 months off. I was still good, brother.
Yeah.
I look forward to doing the work of the Most High.
Absolutely.
Now, all of y'all should be able to say the same thing, right?
Right.
Why do I say that? Because I know that everything that the scriptures say is going to come to pass, man.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, as it is written.
We look forward to something.
Well, hey, brothers, as it is written, it's impossible for the Heavenly Father to lie. Is it not written? So whatever the Heavenly Father said, we can bank on it. It's impossible for him to lie.
Right. That's right.
That's what the scriptures say.
Scripture you wanted me to bring out. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 27.
We got 15 minutes.
Saying,
7 o'clock, yeah.
Jeremiah 2 and 27. Saying to a stock, thou art my father's,
There you go.
and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth.
Yeah.
For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble...
That's what Polite did. When he came down in 34th and 7th, we introduced him to Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
Turn his back on the Lord.
And he said, y'all almost had me until, come on, you know. He was looking for that way out because he wasn't part of the elect. The truth is not for him. Go ahead.
But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us.
And when Big Rex put that fucking yoke on him, you my bitch now, nigga. He go,
Big Rex is just like you.
yeah.
He needs love too.
Yeah, he did.
Acts 5 and 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone.
Now wait a minute, all you brothers, that should show you how what's the word? How special you are. That should show you brothers how special. We got vindicated by this asshole.
Right.
He tried to bury us, Jack. Look at where he's at now. Look at where you at. You out here, you got your freedom, you're doing the work. This motherfucker is dodging in sword fight. He's like trying to keep his back door closed, man. Oh, you know what, man? Right? We out here doing the work. This dude growing eyes in the back of his motherfucking head. Hey, all praises to you. How about you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This nigga might not take a shower for weeks.
Get ready. I'm finna toss your salad, brother.
You know them crazy ass niggas in the joint, man?
This is 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 24. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you one bullock for yourselves and dress it first.
Hey, can I ask you brothers a question? When he supposedly sick the Crips and Bloods on us, y'all remember that, right? Was y'all nervous? There you go. We weren't nervous.
Yeah, because when it happened, they knew when we was on 34th Street. We was still out there on 34th Street.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my eyes open. You know?
Yeah, come.
But we trusted in the Most High because we didn't do nothing.
It was business as usual.
Business as usual.
It says, for ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under it. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning unto noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a god. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awake.
Yeah, so he can cry on Geb and Nut and Anubis and all of that. See, they'll help him.
It says, and they cried aloud and cut themselves after the manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice, nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. And Elijah said unto the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down. And Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar to the name of the Lord. And he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seeds. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said,
fill 4 barrels with water and pour it upon the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, the Lord power of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art the God in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord, the Most High Yahweh, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the Lord Yahweh, he is the God. The Lord Yahweh, he is the power. And Elijah said unto him, take the prophets of Baal, and let not one of them escape. Right. And they took them, and Elijah brought them to the brook of Kishon, and slew them there. And Elijah said unto Ahab, get thee up, eat and drink.
What we got to do is kill them niggas.
Yeah.
So we got to kill them. We got to kill all them niggas, and the angel's going to do it too.
Oh, yeah.
All of them is going to take that chip, and all of them is going to die. It's one way or another.
Hey, the only one standing is going to be the elect. That's it, man. Everybody else going to bite the bullet, man. Literally.
It said, so Ahab went up to eat and to drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees, and said to his servant, go up, look toward the sea. And he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And he it says, and he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And he said, go again 7 times. And it came to pass on the 7th time that he said, behold, there ariseth a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand. And he said, go up, say unto Ahab, prepare thy chariot, and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not. And it came to pass in the meanwhile that the heaven was black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain, and Ahab rode and went to Jezreel. And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he girded up his loins, and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel.
That's it.
Yep.
What we said last week.
Nothing.
Most High ultimately for the rule. We've been doing the will of the Most High. How about you outside? We going. Hey, brother, it says of Daniel, it said that he, give me that somebody. Go right to the point. Daniel chapter 10. The angel told Daniel, oh, by the way, the Most High loves you. The heavens love you.
Oh, yeah.
So guess what? If they love Daniel, the Most High loves us. How about you outside? There's a scripture in Matthew where it says the Most High honoreth his servants. Something to that effect. Go ahead, Doc.
This is Daniel 10 and 19.
And you need to leave priest. Done y'all. Oh, that guy, yeah, he's emotional. And I love you, brother, but you get to know. As soon as we say something, hey, brother, we be cursing out all kinds of people. Sometimes we're going to get on you. Well, just deal with it, man. You know?
I didn't even want to do the video in the first place. I'm a, you know.
I want to spirit, baby. You know, I have to ride on it,
right,
too,
right.
You know?
This is Daniel 10 and verse 19. It says, and said, let me start from verse 18. It says, then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he said, peace be unto thee, be strong, yeah, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. That's the point.
Yeah, so he said, the angel said, you are greatly beloved. You know? Like I said, there's another scripture where it says, I believe it's in Matthew.
Oh, your names are written?
It says that the servants of the Lord are greatly honored by the Most High.
Oh.
I believe the key word is honor. If anybody can get it, if not, don't worry about it.
Another one, rejoice because your names are written in heaven. Another one, rejoice in names, yeah. Because the disciples, they were rejoicing, they had power over the people. Yahushua had to set them straight. He said, no, rejoice that your names are written in heaven. Yeah. So who the hell is that talking about? That's talking about guys like us, man. We're known in high places, baby. Hey, the Lord took the lowest men in this society and made them known in high places. Now, how's that for power? Yeah.
Isaiah 50:7. For the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, will help me, therefore will I not be confounded. Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall be not ashamed. He is near that justified me.
Right.
Who will contend with me? Let us stand together. Who is my adversary? Let him come near to me. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai will help me. Who is he that will condemn me?
They're polite. He became our adversary. Sick the Crips on us and Bloods and all that bullshit. Where is he now?
He's a hated nigga forever, man. He'll be all right in the kingdom, but he's gonna have his head down, brother. Come on.
Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. This the people saw and understood it not. Neither laid they up in their minds that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and he has respect unto his chosen.
Woo!
Another one.
Fire!
I got one. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 33. It says, who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is Yahweh Shem Yahshai that justifies it.
There you go.
In the back. Come on. And with that, we're gonna close up.
This is John 15. I'm going to read from 14 to 15. It says, ye are my friends, if you do whatever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
So with that, okay, got one. Come on, one more, and that's it. We out of here.
This is Acts.
Gotta eat.
Acts chapter 5, verse 38. It says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
Are you listening, vocab?
But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it. Let happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High.
That's right.
It is.
That's right.
Do it right, brother. Anyway, we're gonna close up. We're gonna try to do this quick. Hug up. Let's go. You gotta say something. Walk and talk. Walk. You gotta walk and talk to the phone, right?
Con. Absolutely.
Cause I want to eat, man. Call it out.
For the Shadu, Maju, Rock. Got the Matai dismissed.
Go on, bro.